Hi everyone, introducing a new Liquid AIO coming from Lian Li known as the Galahad 2 LCD. And I'm excited to share with you my experience on this Liquid AIO. First of all, I'd like to thank Lian Li to have provided this unit for me to share with you guys, and to Block Soda to have done the arrangement on the delivery. Let's begin. This Liquid AIO comes in two forms of color, which is in black or in white. As for the radiator offering, they only have two types, which is the 280 or the 360. Now for the 280 variant, be it black or white, it only comes with the ARGB fans. As for the 360, you have a choice of having the ARGB fans or to have the SL infinity fans. When you purchase this Galahad 2 LCD, be it the 280 variant or the 360 variant, coming with the standard ARGB fans, this are the accessory, and when you unbox it, it's nicely packed with this Ziploc bag. You'll be ushered with an instruction manual where it shows you all the instructions on how to mount the LCD block to your processor and how to mount the radiator to your case. And over at this section, you can counter check all these accessories with the quantity that's located in this page itself. They do provide you with a leaflet where you download the Connect 3 application and to control the LCD and the ARGB effects on the fans itself. And in the event if you lose this instruction manual, not to worry, you can scan this QR code on this leaflet to obtain the soft copy of the instruction manual. Starting off with the left itself, you'll be ushered with additional thermal paste. This is 2 grams, and a spatula. In the event if this pre-paste happen that you accidentally scratch it or accidentally wipe over it, clean this pre-paste. You can apply using the additional thermal paste provided with the spatula. And these are radiator screw whereby you mount the radiator to your fans. This cable over here, this is meant for you to control the LCD block, whereby one end, which is type C, as you can see here, is connected over here. I'll show you the connection later. And the other end, which is the USB to your motherboard. So you will make use of the Connect 3 application to control the LCD effects, which I will show you later. Next will be this cable over here. Now this cable is meant for you to control your fans, the RPM and the ARGB. As you can see here, the connection point over here, this is meant for your fan, 4-pin PWM, and the 3-pin 5-volt ARGB connector, which is on your fans, which I'm going to show you later. And this is the power source, where you draw the power from your PSU SATA to this SATA connector over here, and towards your fans, ARGB, and the fan blade from spinning. And this end over here, this is meant for you to connect to your LCD block, whereby all the control will be done on Connect 3, which I'm going to show you later. Next will be 2 Velcro stripe. This is meant for you when you mount everything in, and you want to tidy up the hose itself. You have 2, so you can stripe on it and to make it tidy. Now for this, in the event, let's say you don't want to use the ARGB effects on the fan, which I doubt you want to do that. This is whereby over this cable over here, you have the ARGB connection. You can disconnect the fan and connect this cable over here, and to place your ARGB strips of any kind. But I don't think you'll be using this because you want the ARGB effects on the fans itself. Now coming to this section, I will go in depth on how to mount the the LCD block to the processor, be whether you're in Intel platform or AMD platform. At the top, this is meant for your 1150X and the 1700 socket, whereby it support generation 9, generation 10, 11 all the way to generation 12. I will go into it even generation 13. Spacer, which is meant for you, which I will show you later again, on how you're going to apply this Intel bracket in order for you to mount the LCD block. Now for AMD, it's simpler, where you only have this brackets. On the AMD platform, where you have the original bracket, you have to remove it and to replace this in order for you again to place the LCD block to your processor. You'll be provided with two sets of thumb screw retention screws, one which is meant for the AM4 platform and the other which is meant for the AM5 and for the Intel platform. Starting off with the Intel platform itself, where you mount this back plate to the motherboard. Now take a look at this over here. You see that you'll be able to adjust, and there's only two variants where you can do it. Now if you were to push it inside, which is this is meant for your 1150X processor, which is the Gen 8, 9 and 10. Now if you were to push it out, this is meant for your 1700 bracket, which is meant for your Gen 11, 12 and 13. And how it's been done is you flip the motherboard to the other side, and this happened to be a 1700 bracket, so I pushed all this out so that you can fit it in to the holes at the back of your motherboard. Once this is done, right, turn it back where you have the front. Now at this front over here, you will be provided with this 4 spacer which I shown you. By the way, kudos to Lian Li, these are not plastic, these are rubberized. Good touch. So you fit this in order to hold the bracket. And once you have done this, you can apply the thermal paste on your processor and to mount the LCD block. Now I'm not going to mount the LCD block as there's no processor over here, but the alignment is there, so you just place it in. Once you place this block in, right, then you will need to apply the retention thumb screws. Now take note, as mentioned to you earlier, there are two sets of retention thumb screws. For Intel platform, be it whether you are doing a Gen 9 all the way to Gen 13, make sure that you make use of this retention thumb screws, which has dotted on the Phillips screw hole over here. Else for the other, right, the other set, it does not have it. See? So if you compare, so one is with dot. Make use of the dotted ones for the Intel platform. So assuming that you have placed the thermal paste and to place the block itself, right, this is where you screw, making use of this again, a reminder, to screw down the LCD to the processor area. And when you're placing this screws, right, make sure you do it as in like consistent diagonally, so that you have an even platform, or should I say even pressure of the block to the processor in order to have good temperature. So this is how it's mounted. For the AM4 and AM5 socket itself, which is the AMD platform, all is needed, remove the original brackets, and these brackets are held by screws, which you will need to unscrew it. Replace the original bracket with the brackets that comes with the Liquid AIO, and take note on the orientation. As you can see, it says CPU with the arrow. Make sure the arrow is pointing towards the processor. So this is how you fit in. And do not place it the other way around, which is wrong. This will cause you not able to mount the block to the bracket. So make sure, again, a reminder, as you can see, so this arrow is pointing towards the processor, so make sure you mount with the arrow pointing to the processor. Same goes to the other end. Once you've done this, right, the original screws that's holding the original brackets, make use of the screws, place them to the screw thread of each hole over here, and when you're mounting, again, do it diagonally as in like to fasten it this way. Let's say you have catched this, then do the other side, same apply to the other two screws, which is here and here. I would advise not to tighten it first, just have an anchor point when you feel the retention stop, then followed by the other two screws. Once you have all the screws in, right, then you tighten it. See, I feel the tension, I didn't screw tightly. So once this is in place, tighten it. Just hand tighten will do. You don't have to do, over screwing. Just make sure that there's tension. Once this is done, right, apply the thermal paste on the processor, then you'll be able to mount the LCD block to this 4 screws that's protruding out. And in order to place, right, take note on the retention thumb screws, which I showed you earlier. There are 2 sets. Now, for AM4 platform, make use of the thumb screws or retention screws which do not have the dot for AM4 platform. If you are using an AM5 platform, you will need to use the ones with the dot. So again, once you apply the thermal paste and to place the block, assuming it's already down, to hold this unit here, right, take your thumb screw and to do it diagonally. So given even pressure to the processor from the block to the processor, you will yield better thermal results. The LCD pump block has a IPS panel, which you can see over here. The resolution is pretty sharp. As you can see, I've done my custom logo on this LCD panel, which I will show you the rest of the effects later. And the measurement of this LCD is 2.88 inch, and the pixel resolution is from 480 to 480. Now at the side of the LCD panel, you have these strips over here. These are ARGB, and you can control this ARGB using the L Connect 3 application. And this 2 strips at the side goes round the LCD panel. Now for the pump itself, this AIO is making use of Acertec 8th-gen pump, and it has a max RPM of 3600, and of course you can control the RPM, as this is a 4-pin PWM fan header to control the pump RPM. Besides the elegant look on the LCD panel, which I showed you earlier, the overall structure, the build and the features are very premium. Starting off with the tube holes. As you can see, these are nicely braided, be it the white version or the black version, it's all braided. Now at both ends, be it the pump or at the radiator end, where you have these joints, these are swivelable. On the pump, these are more flexible, as you can see. Now of course, don't do this, I'm just showing you the illustration. So these are very flexible, and at this end, these are pretty stiff. Reason being, right, when you swivel, let's say for example you want to angle at that area, you just swivel this way, it will stay locked in place. So that's why these are very tight. Now when you are doing the swivel at this end, please be very careful. Do not hold on the tube and swivel. You might break the joint, or you might break the butt itself. Make sure you support the butt and to hold on the joint, then to swivel. Probably have to push it over here, see, so that this will prevent you from breaking the joint or the butt. Take note on this. Now as for the dimension, this is a 280 variant. Measuring the width from here to here is 319.5 millimeter, and at the side from here to here, this is 140 millimeter, and the thickness of the radiator itself from here to here is 30 millimeter. And of course, this 280 variant comes with a standard ARGB fan that has a thickness of 25 millimeter. If you were to total up the fan and the radiator from here to here, will be 55 millimeter. At each side of the radiator, at the center, you have this embedded logo, Lian Li, be it this side or the other side. As for the fin stack, as you can see, a 280 variant, you have a very large surface area to absorb the heat from your AIO. I mean the pump block. Now the measurement on the fin stack itself is 20 fin stack per inch, meaning you say every inch is 20 fin stack. As for the 360 variant, now I will skip the holes, the structure and everything. In fact, it's the same as the 280. The only difference are the fans, which on the 280 is a 140 mm. These are 120 mm fans, which you have 3. And the measurement is slightly different, whereby you have the measurement from here to here is at 399.5 millimeter, and the width from here to here is 120 millimeter, and the thickness of the radiator from here to here is the same as 280, which is 30 millimeter, and along with the standard ARGB fans, which is 25, total from here to here the thickness is at 55 millimeter. The specification of each fan, be on the 360 variant or the 280 variant, I've written on my right. You can pause this video and to look at the specification. I will briefly go through with the specs. All these fans are fluid dynamic bearing, and it runs on 12 volt DC. Starting off with the 280 variant, where you're ushered with 240 mm fans. Do take note that there are some difference in measurements. Now, for each 140 mm fans, right, the width from here to here, the side of the radiator, this is 143 millimeter. Else from here to here is 140, which is the standard 140 mm fans. Now, as for the 360 variant, where you come with 3 120 mm fans, the thickness from the top to the bottom over here is 123 millimeter. Else from here to here is at 120 millimeter. For the max RPM on the 140 millimeter fans is running at 1550. Else for the 120 on the 360, the max RPM is 2450. Given with all the cables over here and to connect your Liquid AIO to the motherboard, something to take note. I'll start off with the pump. Now this is running max at 3600 RPM and it's very high speed. I would advise you that for the pump header, which is this, a 4-pin PWM fan header, when you want to plug to your motherboard, make sure you plug it to the water pump. As you can see over here, right, on my right, this is water pump, and on my left, this is CPU fan header. Do not plug the pump over here. Instead, plug this, the pump connector, to your water pump. Reason being, right, most of the water pump are rated 2 ampere and above, so it gives enough or sufficient amperage to your pump to run healthy. So take note on this. So that is done. Next thing you will need to do is to connect this type C cable to your pump. Okay, let me just take this out. Now as you can see, the pump itself, right, there are 2 slots over here. On my right over here, this is the type C connector. Then on this end, this is for your USB 2 header, which on your motherboard, located below, this is where you should plug. And this is all is needed, either of the USB 2. So I'll do this. Once you have connected, right, it's done. And once you're done with the pump, next thing is the radiator fans itself. By the way, the fans on the radiator, the cables are concealed. As you can see over here, it's only with this cable coming out. So it gives a very clean look when you mount this in the case. Now, on the fan connector itself, there are 2 connectors. One, which is the 3-pin 5 volt ARGB, and this is for the PWM, where it controls the RPM of your fans. And having you say this, right, this is the cable that comes along with it. So Starting off this end over here. Now this is where you plug your PSU SATA cable to this connector over here, and explain to you why. Next, you're ushered with these two connectors. One is 3-pin, which is for the ARGB. One is 4-pin, which is for your fan's RPM. So on the fan itself, right, you have this connector. Connect the 3-pin 5V ARGB to the 3-pin, and the 4-pin PWM fan header to the connector over here, which is 4-pin. So once you have done this, right at the other end, okay, ignore this SATA cable, I will show you later. This is to be connected to the pump. It only goes in one direction, so do not apply too much force. If it can't fit right, you will have to turn the connector. But I know that this is the way, so see, it just fits in nicely. Now, as for this end, I mentioned to you, right, the SATA connector. Now, this is a must. You must connect this to your PSU SATA connector so that you will supply power to your fan and the ARGB effects. Additional note on the connection point itself, as you can see, is pretty neat. All is needed is just two cables to your motherboard and the fan connection to the pump. As mentioned earlier, right, this SATA here is to supply power to your fan and the ARGB. As for the LCD itself, right, the power comes from the USB Type-C cable over here, which is connected to your motherboard. Now, for the connection on the 360, it's the same as the 280 variant. I will skip that. Now, gonna show you something very, very interesting. This is how the L-Connect application tree looks like, and it controls not only the fan but the pump, as you can see on the submenu over here, and the LCD panel, which I'm going to show you later. And take note that this is not included in this application. It's just another window where I want to show you the effects on the fan and the LCD. Now, I will just go briefly on system info. You will see all the stats on your CPU, your RAMs, and your GPU. And right now, if you want to control the fan RPM, as you can see over here under fan pump profile, as you can see, this is fan and this is pump. If you want to control the fan, just highlight on the fan and you can do all your settings over here. So when you click on the settings over here, right, let's say full SP, the fan will trigger at full, as you can see over here. Okay, probably I will just turn on this to show you even better. Now look at the fan blade itself. If I were to toggle quiet, see, the fan is reacting. It slows down, I mean the blade. And of course, you can do custom profile. I'm not going to go into details, as you can fiddle with this yourself. So right now, I'm just going to set it back to quiet. So this is how you control the fan RPM on the radiator. Now, as for the pump itself, you can either go fixed RPM or pump PWM. Now, if you select to PWM, right, this is to follow your motherboard, whichever, the water pump header that you connected your pump block, or should I say the pump connector to your motherboard fan header, right, it will follow according to your motherboard configuration. If you choose to use L-Connect, select on fixed RPM, whereby you can control the RPM. Right now it's 2280, which you can set up all the way to 360. And when you set to 360, right, look at the pump RPM, it will go up. So it depends on how you want it to be. If you find that 3600 is too loud or too fast for you, you can just adjust over here. See, it will just go down. Now, again, as a reminder, if you want to control using the L-Connect application on your pump, make sure it's at fixed RPM. If you want to follow your motherboard RPM itself on the header that you plug the pump to, set to PWM. Next will be the ARGB. I'll start off with the fan. Select on Galahad 2 or GA2 LCD. Click on fan LED. So this is where you control the ARGB on the fans itself. Okay, let me just turn off the lights. So with this say, right, these are the effects that you can choose. See, you can set static, and of course you can set the colors if you want to. Let's say you want this to be orange. See, it's instant. You want breathing, maybe to another color. See, it will react. And of course this is the speed, how much speed you want, as in like the effect. Okay, let me just do a runaway. Okay, this is the speed of the runaway. You can set it higher if you want to. See, it will go faster. Let me set this back to 50. Now in the event, if let's say you change the fans with other ARGB fans, and you find that when you plug this in, right, in this ecosystem itself, whereby there are LEDs that's not lighted up, what you can do here, in fact, when you have thought about it, as you can see here, RGB LED loop number. So assuming that you have other ARGB fans that has each fans that has more than, let's say, 30 LEDs, let's say maximum of 35 LED, you can adjust the number over here. So that will light up the black areas of your other fans. I mean the other ARGB fans. Next will be the LCD itself. I will first show you the side ARGB strips, where you can see here screen LED. So when I click on this, right, it gives you this profile over here. Now you have two sections of theme that you can choose. Let's say for example you want it to have runaway, you can just click. See, the side is running. Or you can have it at static colors. You can change the color too if you want to. Let's say you want green, you want blue, and etc. And of course you can adjust the lightings. Now if you do not want the ARGB, right, same goes with your fan. On the brightness itself, you can just set to 0. See, it will totally turn off. Now right now I'm just going to turn off. Just take note that there are two profiles over here you can set at the side. Okay, let me just bring back. See, so either theme, set 1 or set 2, you can just select the theme that you wanted. And of course on 1 you can set voice if you want to. So these are all the effects that you can choose. And some of this, right, you have direction. See, this is going down to up, and this from the top to the bottom. Now I'm going to show you something which is the main attraction of this whole Liquid AIO, which is the LCD panel. But before I do so, right, let me just do this, set it to static color so it's not so distracting. Okay, I'll leave it this way. Under this section screen over here, you have all this theme. You can play with things like rain. See, it will rain on the logo itself, as you can see. Then you can set things like snow, where it removes off the logo and you have snow. You can do meteor shower if you want to. Now do note that when you select an effect, right, it will take 1 or 2 seconds delay. Reason being, right, the command passes through the USB to this LCD panel itself, right. It takes some time to digest. It's normal. I mean, it's perfectly normal. It just takes some time and your patience. Now besides this, right, there are 2 sections of the themes here you can choose. This is set 1, where you have all this over here, and set 2. So let's say you have this flying wording. It's meant for you to type in the wording that you want. Let's say you just type garbage over here. Just an illustration, alright? I'm not saying that this is garbage, just to show you. See? So it will just show you the wording over here. and you will change accordingly to what you have typed. See, this is showing the second wording over here. Then you will just disappear and appear another, which is this. So these are some of the things that you can play with. Now, in the event, okay, let me just put it back to this. Now, in the event, if you want to upload your own pictures and such, no problem. In order for you to upload your picture to show on the LCD panel itself, all is needed is click on Add, upload a GIF, PNG, or a JPEG. Now, you can even upload a video, but I'm going to show you on the static pictures itself. Just click on Upload, select the picture that you want. It will bring you to this editor, whereby you have this green frame over here. This is the selection of the picture that you want to show on the LCD, and it's always at 480 by 480 in pixel. So you can adjust this. Now, once you're happy with what you see over here, okay, just click on the check mark and import. Once you have import, see, you will show on the LCD, which you can see over here. It shows. Now, to make it more interesting, you wanted to show the CPU temperature, GPU temperature, and such. You can click on text and to set up your sliders. You can have either single slider, or you can have dual sensor, or even you can have display time. This is how it looks like when I set display time. See, on the LCD. And of course, you can select the layout, or you can choose to change the color. Let's say I were to do red, for example. Okay, and to apply, see, you'll be in red. Now, for this tree selection here, right, you can set different colors. Let's say I want it blue at the center, okay, green at here, and when you apply, see the three different colors. The top is in fact red, the middle section is blue, and the last section is in green, which you can witness over here is displayed. Now I'm just going to set it back to default. And besides the time itself, right, you can set slider sensor or dual sensor. Slider sensor, it will show you this way. See, you can select all this in, and you will cycle. Okay, let's say I will set it to 5 seconds. This will change. So on the actual panel itself, right, it will change. So right now it's GPU. As you can see over here, this is the CPU usage, the load, and such, the GPU usage, and etc. So all these are controlled within this area over here. Or if you want something different, right, you can set it to dual sensor, where you want just to display the CPU and GPU. See, you can do this, and you find that you need to adjust the layout. You can just click on layout and to set. This is towards the center, this is towards the top. So these are all the fun stuff you can do. Now, to upload a video, okay, let me just clear off the text here to none. Now, for the video part, right, it's even more interesting. But before I go on, right, besides uploading static picture, you can do screenshots. For example, let's say you want to do a screen capture. Let's say you want this logo to be displayed on the LCD itself. As mentioned, within the green square frame, once this is done, just click on the check mark and to import. See, it will then show on the LCD. Now, to upload a video itself, this is more interesting. You can click on Add, upload a MP4. Then this is my video. Now, when the video plays, right, you see it's actually out of frame. So what I'll do is I'll adjust. Let's say this is the end point, right, where you want to show, where I want to show the logo. So I will just spread this out and to adjust accordingly. Then once this is done, right, now you can't just click on check mark, you have to do the recording itself. So right now I'm just going to do a recording. So you record to where you want it, and you want to stop here, just click on stop, and to click on the check mark. And on the check mark itself, right, sometimes the duration of the video itself, like the starting point and the ending point, is taking too much time. You can edit. So coming to the edit section, whereby you can set, let's say this is the start point. Let's say you want this to be the start point, so you can bring this cursor over here, or should I say the time frame over here. Okay, let's say this is the start point, so you can just bring it over here. So this is what your start point is, and your end point, right, like taking a look at the end, oh, these are blackout, so you wouldn't want that. Okay, it's not displaying right now. Okay, so let's say you want it to stop over here. Take for example, you can do the endpoint over here. So once you're happy with this, you can import. And do note that this will take some time. See, it's rendering. So let it run, and you will be imported to your LCD panel, which I'm going to show you later. So I'll just let it run. And of course, on video mode, you can also add things like the GPU temperature, CPU temperature, and such, which I'm going to show you here. See, this is loaded. And when this is loaded, right, it will be imported to your screen over here. Now, the screen is very bright. In fact, the color are very vibrant. It's just that I can't show you over here because this is the lowest. See, this is the brightest. So even if I were to set it to 25, right, it's too bright. That's why you're seeing that the how should I say, the gray part, right, I mean the brown part, right, is rather bright. Anyway, back to where I was saying, you wanted to add some other functions like showing the GPU temperature and such. Same thing, click on text, and you can select slider, and to display, see, the display out on the LCD panel over here. And of course, you can do dual if you want to, which I reset over here. Right now, it's actually at the bottom, as you can see. And of course, you can change the layout. Oh, even you can change the fonts if you want to. See, you will change accordingly. And you can set the alignment. Okay, this is towards the top. This is towards the center. And this is towards the bottom. See, on your LCD, it will react. Now, when you change the effect over here, right, make sure you wait for a while before it will display on the LCD. As mentioned, this is normal. Now, besides this, right, you want to do a video capture. For example, let's say you want to do a screen recording of what you're doing. So assuming that I'm loading to YouTube. Okay, I want to record, for example, okay, maybe not mine, but someone else. Okay, let me just grab Lian Li's page. So assuming that you find something interesting, let's say, for example, oh, this will be a good illustration. So you want to do a live recording on your screen itself to show this. What you need to do is pretty simple. Okay, let me just pause this. Over on the L-Connect 3 application itself, what you need to do is just to click on Add and click on Screen Recording. And Screen Recording, right, it will show you this. So how do you toggle it? You can just adjust to what you want to see. Okay, for example, like this. Then once you're done, right, do the playback as usual. So I'm just a demo. Do the playback and you do the capture. You record. Okay, I'm just going to move this away. This is distracting. So until where you feel that that's what you wanted, you can just click on pause, and again click on the check mark. Now you can edit, as mentioned to you, on the timestamp and such, as in like, you know, the intro and the ending part. If you find that it's very lengthy, so we can play back and see, oh, you want to, let's say, start at this point. Okay, probably at this point. You can just grab this starting point to this timestamp, and the ending point, right? Let's say you will find that, okay, to stop at this point, the 45-degree angle. So you can drag this over here, then you import. And again, this will allow other function. So as mentioned to you, you can do all this function, and it's very neat. This is actually a very polished, I should say, application, as I compared to some other Liquid AIO that has LCDs, right? It's a very neat function. So as you can see here, right, it's already imported. Now I will need to show you the LCD over here. See, it's imported. And of course you can add again the CPU temp and the GPU temp. And in the event, if let's say you want not the GPU temp and the CPU temp, right, you just want time, right, you can just click on time. It will just show you the time. Neat, right? So these are all the things that you can play with L-Connect 3 on this Galahad 2 LCD. One last thing I'd like to mention about this LCD itself, it's really pitch perfect. Reason being, right, looking on the dashboard itself, where it shows you the display of what you have done, right, in the event, if let's say the positioning of the block itself is not correct, you can rotate this panel. Take a look. If I were to click here, see, it rotates. But on the dashboard itself, it's showing you the correct position where you can feather with all your effects and such, or do your wordings, so it doesn't affect the screen rotation with the actual LCD rotation. So let's say you have done the block in a different orientation, right, you can just do rotation, which is this. See, and you just follow accordingly to what you have rotated. Now besides this, right, as mentioned to you earlier, the brightness, now this is very bright, okay, extremely bright, and you can adjust lower. Now right now I've turned on the lights, where you can see that the picture is very very sharp, and that's the reason why I say that the LCD itself, right, is very bright. If I were to turn off the lights on my on my vision itself physically, right, it looks good and sharp. But when on the camera itself, it captures like some kind of like overblown shot. But when I turn on the lights, take a look, it's very clear. What I like about this Galahad 2 LCD itself, first off, the IPS panel. It's very vibrant, bright and sharp. Next, the simplicity on the application itself. In fact, it's very polished on the L-Connect 3 application, where you can do all the functions that display on the LCD. And of course, the ARGB effects on the strips on the block and the fans itself. And for simplicity's sake, right, there's only 2 cables needed to connect to your motherboard, and you don't have all the cable mess. And especially on the fans itself, right, at the side, all the cables are concealed. Besides this, the structure of the whole Liquid AIO, right, it's very premium. You will not feel cheap about this Liquid AIO itself. All nicely done. And I believe the cooling performance of this 280, right, will be fantastic, because I am in favor of 280. All this while, Galahad do not, or should I say, Lian Li Galahad family, right, do not have a 280 variant, and this is the exceptional, which I intend to make use of this Liquid AIO on my main build. Hope you guys have enjoyed what I've shared with you regarding about the Lian Li Galahad 2 LCD, be it the 280 or the 360. Now, I do not have the SL Infinity, but they are of the same structure, just that the 360 itself, right, the fans they changed to SL Infinity. Now with this said, right, take note on the release official purchase date. They will be out in the market on the 18th of October. And you might be asking me, Cleo, what about the performance of this Galahad 2 LCD? Well, I deliberately keep till right now. That will be on another video where I will challenge this Galahad 2 LCD with the new Galahad, which is out not too long ago. There is the Galahad 2 Trinity, Galahad 2 Trinity SL Infinity 360, and the performance, and of course inclusive of the original Galahad. So with this said, right, if you want to know about the performance, do check out on my next video, which I'm going to publish in no time. And with this said, I'd like to thank Lian Li to have provided all the Galahads. Very gracious of you and very generous. Thank you very much for me to share with you guys, and to Block Soda to have done all the efforts to send all this Galahad to me. Thank you very much. And if you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. If you like my content, do remember to subscribe and to click on the notification bell button. Till then, take care, goodbye, see ya.